All right, THP, welcome back to
Yes.
THP Sports Talk Radio with JDax and Illiterate.
What's going on, guys?
So let's get down to some
Exciting
business, some announcements.
Yeah.
Congrats to Blake Hall.
Oh yeah. He's the what is it? The contest 7 winner
Yeah. So
and
there's
the 8th member of Team Prestige.
and there's what
For the Granddaddy.
three spots left.
3 spots left. 3 very valuable spots left.
Yes. So they're going to join you
They're gonna join me. Yeah.
in California. Go through the fitting, the granddaddy of them all. Woo!
Woo!
So there you go. Yeah. What advice do you have for Blake?
I mean, it's the same
prepping.
really the same advice I gave him last week. You know, just enjoy the moment. Don't put too much pressure on your practice and trying to get ready for this. And you know, let's just go have some fun and you know, hopefully we beat Finley and the rest of the Zoo Crew.
Yeah. I mean, one thing we know for sure about Blake is that he can keep a scorecard.
Yes,
One
he can.
One
Absolutely.
hell of a scorecard.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I mean, any thoughts for Finley, just in case he tunes into this?
I don't know if he's going to tune in. Super guy. Felt bad about calling him out last night.
Calling him out for getting skull dragged? I mean, that seems to be the new term on the forum, skull drag.
Right. Yeah, it was a boat race.
Race.
Let's just call it what it was, and I'm sure that he is going to be grinding to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Awesome.
With the granddaddy.
Yeah. Well, congrats, Blake Hall. What else we got?
We have a shaft up, huh?
Yeah,
Right. Shaft up number 3. Shaft up number 3.
Yeah.
The winner was you.
Yeah.
Actually, right?
Yeah, me and Jordan.
Right. You and Jordan. That's right.
Yeah, Jordan from
Jordan's
Michigan.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about Michigan, the football team, but yeah, Michigan.
They looked really good over Florida.
They did look good over Florida. We hate the Gators, so it's all good.
Can't stand them.
But yeah, man, I'm pumped about that. Really interested to see what Danny Lee is going to cook up shaft wise. I have no idea what kind of gear we're going to get, but
right.
man, I'm pumped about it. It's you know, in a sense, it's like a mini granddaddy, you know. So you're getting the full experience, and I'm getting kind of.
So what you're trying to say is
granddaddy.
it's like granddaddy at Jace.
Yeah,
It's like.
I think that's a good way of.
It's sort of like granddaddy, but not really. It's not really granddaddy.
I mean, we're not going out there and competing, but we
not
are
like-
getting fit for the gear.
You're not getting like a hashtag that says Team Prestige or anything
No.
like that. Okay,
No Team Prestige
you're
hashtag.
You're not going to get to play with the captain.
Not going to get to play with the captain.
Okay, right. So
But it's all good. And speaking of the captain, I've never played with the captain. I've been to several events with the captain and never got to play with him.
well, we're gonna talk about the captain here in a second. I think.
Because he's playing in this event that's coming up here, right?
Yes, he is. Yes,
All
he
right.
is.
So let's get down to the business here.
Yep. Why we're here.
The reason we're here, the THP, Budget Golf Championship, and there's a big contest going on this week, everybody. So you pick the winner, who's going to win, and you could win a set of irons. Do you have any idea what kind of irons those might be?
I mean, they may be epic. Well, they're definitely going to be epic. Whatever, but they
Whatever
might be.
it is.
They may actually be epics. We don't know. I mean, don't quote me on that. JB's like, no, Dax, they're not epics. That's not what we're going to do. They might be. We don't know.
But they're definitely going to be epic. But we
Right.
don't know if they're going to be like the epic irons. But
Right,
they're going to be
exactly.
epic.
So I mean, basically, what is it? You just pick a winner. You just pick a winner.
You pick a winner, and then I guess you get a depending on how many people are there that have picked that same team with you. You get a ball in the tumbler and see where that falls, and then maybe you can give us some odds on the actual numbers.
Well,
post round or post event.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about the contest. I mean, I think that I take my my role as the resident Jimmy the Greek of THP very seriously. And I have a long lifetime of calculating odds and figuring out numbers, much to the chagrin of both my parents and later on my wife. But yeah, this contest is really cool. I can't wait to follow along with it.
Yeah.
I've looked at both of the courses it's going to be on. We had a big announcement last week of the actual format of the event.
Yeah. So let's talk about the formats.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, day one we get a front nine shamble
Yes.
at Dub's Dread.
That's right.
And then back nine alternate shot.
Right.
Which you and I are familiar with those two formats, right?
Yes, we are. Yeah, originally when this was announced, we thought that potentially it was Shamble combined score.
Yeah.
Because of the way that the wording of the announcement was that both players are going to count, which led me to believe that it was going to be combined score. And in this particular case, it's not. What we've been told is that it is Shamble, but 2 scores from each player must count. So it's not combined score. Both teams are going to turn it. So now you bring some strategy in, especially on those those teams that have a low high.
Yeah.
Handicapper. There could be some strategy that come into play.
Yeah. So for the people at home that may not know what a Shamble is, you want to explain that to them?
Oh yeah. Shamble. Both players on the team are going to hit their tee shot. They're going to determine which one was the best one, and then they're going to finish out and play out their ball from there.
So the Shamble format, what you're saying is like our Shamble experience. If you're standing at the last hole, the ninth, or I guess in our case we played the back 9 5 times that weekend.
Yeah,
but you're standing at 18 tee,
right,
needing to win the hole, and your partner tops it into the marsh. Then you still have a chance to get one out in the fairway if your partner hits one in the fairway, right?
I mean, did I top one into the marsh? Is that what you're trying to say? I don't recall that.
I remember a lost ball off the tee, and me asking you what the hell was that, and what was your reply?
No, that wasn't a lost ball at the tee. Okay, what happened was that was actually my tee ball, and we were gonna play it into the last hole. The match was like, what was it?
We were one down.
We were one down.
We promised the captain we would grind out a half a point.
Right. This was after the rain
after
delay.
the rain delay.
After the rain delay. And I hit a 6-iron like right of Ronald Reagan. Like it was so far right, I almost killed JB, who was watching in a cart on the right. And you just looked at me and said, where in the hell did that come from? And I just said, I think I just succumbed to the pressure.
So what you're saying is you didn't handle the Sunday heat very well in that particular situation.
Absolutely not.
Well,
No.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of your favorite player.
I'm working on
your
it.
favorite player. Let's talk about 2006 U.S. Open
Yeah,
at Winged Foot. How did Phil do?
Well, I'm actually wearing, because we're going to talk a lot about heat, I'm actually wearing, if you can see, this is a 2006 United States Open hat from Winged Foot. Yeah, he didn't handle the heat very well there. And coming down the stretch with this format, there could be some same type of situation. This thing's going to end on the Ravines back nine in a Shamble format.
Yep.
And if nobody runs away and hides at the end of day one, because of alternate shot.
Alternate shot's going to be
That's
like moving day.
Yeah, I mean, then you could have a leaderboard that is jam-packed because of this format, and it could come down to the end, and then how are you going to endure the heat is what it comes down to.
Yeah, and I mean, just a little advice for you guys that are going to be playing this week. If you're playing the alternate shot, just hit the club you want to hit. If JB's in the area trying to talk you into another club, and you have your partner trying to talk you into another club, just hit the one you want to hit.
I mean, you chunked a wedge, and then it became my fault. It became my fault.
I wanted to hit the gap wedge. You made me hit pitching wedge. And JB, I'm going to blame part of that on him too, because he's like, just hit the most forgiving club in your bag. So now I've got all kind of swing thoughts in my head.
Exactly. I mean,
and
forgiving club, just put me on the green, give me a chance, let's make birdie, let's move on.
I didn't put you on the green.
I mean, our opponents were almost in their pocket at this point. I mean,
they really were.
All you needed to do is put this ball.
The fact that we lost that hole, we should never be allowed to play golf again.
Right. Horrible
but
display.
Try to stay composed out there.
Yes.
Obviously, our cart banter was a little unfiltered or a lot unfiltered, just because we know each other, play with each other every weekend. But a lot of you guys may not know each other or have just played a few times. But just support your partner. If they hit a bad shot, whatever, move on. It's going to happen. We're all going to hit bad shots. So day 2, we move on to the Ravines.
Yeah, we move on to the Ravines, and if you go to my opening odds post on the forum, I've got a link to the golf course. I've got a link to tell you what you need to know as you follow along and take a look. The Drubs Dread is definitely the harder of the two tracks.
Yep.
The harder of all of the formats is alternate shot, and it's going to be on the hardest 9 that they play.
Yep.
But yeah, if you can get through day 1 with a chance, yeah, you have a chance. Best ball in the front 9, then you come back to Shamble. It could be a bunched up leaderboard. It could get really exciting come Sunday.
Perfect. Now let's
Right.
let's go down through these odds real quick. So
Yes.
we've got 2 men and some tags. You've got listed at 8 and 5.
Well, yeah. I mean, before we start this, let me just state for the record, the captain has done a phenomenal job of posting his own odds. Okay, so I'm not trying to take anything away from the captain at this point. I'm going to play for him later on in December, so let's not anger the captain.
So is that why you put him with the best odds?
No, I think that.
Are you still trying to work this Finley angle where you get him in Sunday singles?
Yeah, I have a really good feeling that it's gonna it may be coming down to Finley and I and Sunday singles at the end. The way that you've hyped this up. No, what I want to say is he's done a great job. And in order for me to sort of catch up, I mean, they've been talking about this and how they've been playing the entire time since the teams were announced. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've basically have scoured. I mean, I've stalked y'all's post history, you guys that are playing in this, to see if I've missed any sort of nuggets. I went through that entire team's thread. So some of you may want to go through the team's thread before you make a pick, right? Just to determine where their games are before they get here. Talked to JB. He filled in some gaps when you couldn't find out information, even if you had a search warrant. There's a couple of you guys out there that are playing in this that don't post enough, not involved enough.
Yeah. Post more.
Post more, right. And then I came up with some opening odds. So, yeah, I did put the captain as the favorite. And then there's basically 6 teams in this thing that have where both members have some sort of event experience. There is one later on that where he's been to, one of them's like been to an event, but it wasn't a competitive event. But anyway, I digress. They still have some sort of experience. 3 of the teams, they have one of the players on the team with some experience, and one team no prior experience whatsoever. That's the Jersey Burners. We have, it's a star-studded Granddaddy alumni. I mean, there's 2 cats in the field that have been on winning Granddaddy teams.
Lions and Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, that is correct. And the current captain, as we've mentioned,
Mike Dean.
Yeah, Mike Dean. We totally put the captain over here today. So
Yeah.
hopefully I have something to do with maybe, the pairings when they're announced.
Just throwing that out there.
And then Cookie was a former Granddaddy captain. You've played with Cookie before, right?
I have played with Cookie before at the RTJ event, Kickoff Classic for Kent Wool back in 2016.
Okay.
We played the final day together. But, I'm a little concerned with how rusty he may be. I mean, he did take a year off from the forum, so he may be a little rusty. I don't know how much he's dusted off the golf clubs since coming back and getting involved again. So
I mean, it's kind of like riding a bike. I'm sure Cookie's going to be okay.
Yeah, great guy.
He sounds like a grinder, like a guy that I want to play with, like an ultimate grinder.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a grinder out there, and fun guy to play with for sure, no doubt about that.
So we got the team with the 2 rookies, and then there's 2 other rookies in the event with Nerdy Golfer and J-Lu. But I think that the pairings are pretty tight.
Based on handicaps.
Yeah, well, not just based on handicaps. There's a couple of teams that are mid. There's a couple teams where you go low high, and so it was done really good. Whoever put the pairings together, I think JB actually did, where you're gonna see some really competitive action to win this championship.
Yeah.
Come Sunday.
So, in your opinion, do you like the low high handicap or maybe like a mid handicap pairing?
Well, I haven't seen the scorecard to determine who gets pops where, right? I mean, in my one event experience, I mean, we basically lost. We only have that one time, and then when we were going to win alternate, but we lost that second time basically because of the 13th hole, right?
Yeah.
Where
the problem with that particular hole is that we were giving up a pop, and it was probably the easiest hole on that entire back 9 from the tee box we played. Now from the tips where those holes are handicapped out, that's a much harder hole. But being able to hit 5-iron off the tee and then a wedge in, doesn't strike the fear of God in many players, out there.
No, but I mean,
even players of our caliber.
that entire it came down to that hole, and that was only a 1 pop situation. this is a little bit different, but I think because of the fact that you don't have combined score shamble, okay, low highs have a chance to make some noise.
Yeah, but you got to take at least 2 scores from both players.
Right. So
and I played in that format, I think, at the Savannah trip. It was a similar format where it was, I can't remember if it was shamble or best ball, but you had to use 2 scores from each player, which, the way we kind of did that is, if we both made the same score, like on the first 2 holes, then we took 1 and 1. And I think we were pretty even, like mid cap.
But at regional rivalry, we had the same rules, and we didn't really even it didn't even come into play really. I mean, you were like, I think I parred 1 on one of those 9s or whatever, and you were basically like, let's just get yours in.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Mike's a single digit. I'm at the time's probably at 11.5. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, but for these guys that are out there with low highs, there could be some gamesmanship there, like maybe even taking a bogey early from one of these.
Yeah.
One of
or
the high
you could
caps.
Gamble if you've got a low and a really high cap, and you got your low, just blistering it up. Then you put all the pressure on your high handicap those last 2 or 3 holes. Maybe there's a lot of different strategy that could go into that.
Right. So let's talk about the teams, man. I mean, we're 16 minutes into this thing.
2 men and some tags. You've got them listed at 8 and 5.
We may have to do a second take. We didn't mean to take this on. Yeah, I've got them to 8 to 5. I was looking for the teams that had event experience who I thought could handle the heat very well. Both of these guys are of course, one of them's the captain. And Mancrest, if you look at the way he's been playing, of course this is the internet, so who knows really? You may be like all over the map, but if you look at the way they've been talking, he's a fairway finder, and
that's always a good thing.
If you get 2 mids together, but one of those cats can find the fairway, that is a dangerous combination. You add that to the fact that everyone knows who the captain is. Everyone knows. He becomes the Dallas Cowboys of this whole thing.
Do you think him being the captain adds more pressure to this event, though?
No, I mean, because he's like...
Because this is his chance to shine pre-Granddad.
Well, no, because he's already 0-2 in this event.
He's 0-2 in this event.
Right, but I'm still going to install him as the favorite. I mean, the Cowboys ain't going to win every week, but you're not going to get any line value with them. So my point is, maybe they don't win. I think that even if I looked at some of the earlier action, I think that like 21% of the early action came in on them. So I was absolutely right about this. They are probably going to be the public's favorite team.
All right. So moving on, let's move down the list here. So Fighting Lions, you've got them at 5 and 2.
Yes. This is another 2 guys that are battle tested. I think day 1 is going to favor really good ball strikers, and I think that Lions 81 is probably the best ball striker in the field by my research, and that would, you've got what we were referred to as a low here, and because you can count 2 scores, yep. I mean, there's a good possibility that you could pick one of these guys that are a low cap in this and ride him all the way to the win.
Yeah, that's very true. So we got Swedish Tiger. Is that something for like a Swedish massage? We don't know.
I don't know.
Deep tissue.
Okay, so. Yeah, JDax, he's been playing some phenomenal golf, and I couldn't decide whether or not. I mean, when I'm gonna look at where the action comes in, I may even redo some of the odds. This would be a team that you would watch maybe move up the board and ascend to maybe 6 to 5 at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, both of these guys are playing well. JD's coming off of a call-out win. There's a lot of things going on here.
He's riding some confidence into this thing.
Right. I mean, and I don't know whether or not maybe they peaked a little early. I have no idea. But
kind of like you and I did at regional rivalry. We peaked a week early.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean,
I blame the rain.
Exactly. Dry track. Who knows what happens there? But yeah, they both have experience. They both. I think they're one of those teams that they could be the team that posts a really good 9 and alternate shot, and then we're talking about this Sunday morning. Can they hold on to this thing?
Yeah, and so there you got them listed at 4 to 1. So
yeah.
that's a good pick. And then we've got Snowy Lava next at 6 to 1.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about Snowy Lava?
Like I said earlier, I like 2 minute tags. mid, right? So here you come back with another mid, but one of them, Ski Bum, is coming in off of a personal best. Say he shot a 76, right?
Oh.
So he's going low. I mean, my problem here that they're not further up my board is that if you read what Moulton's been saying, I mean, he's been totally no-selling the way that he's playing. Now, I don't know whether or not he's trying to lower the bar of expectations where he shocks everybody, or is he really has lost his last
Is he going
year's
to pull a Greg on us and say, look, I played terrible all the way up until this event, and then just put on a stripe show?
Right, but if you read his post right now, he seems to have lost his last year's Easter egg. So I don't know what's going on with that. I like him at 6-1, especially if Ski Bum it comes out and kind of holds it together.
Well, you know, Ski Bum could bring a little bit of sense of calm to him if he's playing well, and maybe help make things a little bit easier for him. So coming in at 6-1 also is Prairie Corn Dog.
Yeah.
What a name.
Again, sort of my recipe here, mid. One of them coming off of a personal best. I think that's ROGT. It's coming off personal best round. I like mids because they're going to get some strokes in places that, you know, maybe they shouldn't, just like Greg and them did. And then
Greg's going to hate us on that.
I know. But
we love you, Greg.
I think that, you know, if you look at it, this whole pairing goes down to Boder's driver. I mean, I read where he couldn't find the driver with a search warrant, and then before you know it, maybe there's some news late that maybe he gotten that tightened up. So this is definitely a team to watch there.
I like this guy already. So coming in next, we got a couple of 8-1.
Yeah.
So it's Woo Day.
It's a Woo Day. Yes, it is. Yeah, here we are. Shane hasn't played in a competitive event, I believe. I think he's the one. This is the team that has one person that's been to an event before.
Yeah.
Other person's played competitively. I like them a little bit better than the captain likes them. If you read some of this stuff, I think they've been a little bit low-key with how they're playing. Shane definitely could get hot. But he, again, says he's entering the event with his driver, you know, sort of in timeout. So I don't know. I mean,
it's in timeout.
Right. I mean, it's sort of like, you know, sometimes that I'll put a putter in timeout. You know, and I'll just show up with a different putter, and you're like, what happened to your regular putter? And I was like, it needed to just, you know
it needed to not feel safe in the bag.
Right. So yeah, that team's a little interesting, and I don't know if they're going to draw a whole lot of action from the public, so they could be.
Well, I know its opening day has been real active in the fantasy football draft thread, so he's been posting like crazy in there. So maybe he picked up some followers there. Next, we got Geeked Out.
Yeah, Geeked Out. I'm excited about Geeked Out. It's
Lightning Bolt, nerdy golfer.
Yeah. Even though Lightning Bolt was like, "Hey, what are you doing giving odds?" The captain gives odds. Okay. Captain's in the event.
You got to have a somebody that has no, I guess, pull in this event.
Right. I'm not there.
He's not there. He's
I'm not
unbiased.
Unbiased opinion. Here's the deal. I love this team because here's a team with mid-high. Right. I like mids, but this mid-high thing could work out for you. Mm-hmm. You know, we all watched last year's Granddaddy. We know what type of competitor Lightning Bolt is.
Yeah.
I think that he may be able to guide the rookie through the first day, get him a little comfortable, and watch this team if they're near the top of the scoreboard, because Lightning Bolt knows how to win.
Yeah.
In a big moment.
Yeah. He can handle the heat.
Yeah. Like we said before.
Yeah.
Unlike Phil.
At 2004 Shinnecock Hills or 2006 at Wingfoot.
Right, and I don't know why this is. I'm a big Phil fan, but I also have the 2004 Shinnecock hat where he totally melted down to on the 71st hole that time.
The 71st hole.
Right.
So coming in at 11-1, we've got the Jersey Burners and then also Double J. So we'll talk about the Jersey Burners.
Let's talk about the Jersey Burners real quick. And this would be neither of these guys are really all that active, so I don't think they're going to draw a whole lot of public action. Okay. Mm-hmm. Ray Johnson's going to walk to the first tee at this event with the lowest. He's going to carry the lowest handicap in the field. Mm-hmm. Okay. 2-hip. Said that, it's been said that he's kind of on the higher end. I think it's somewhere around 17. So here you are with this is where you could start getting some value here. Low, high, right? Maybe it evens it out a little bit. they're definitely interesting. They have my attention because this is the type of team where you just like wax them in the first part of an assault or like pool or something, and then they want to double the stakes, and then all of a sudden you get routed. This is one of those teams I don't think is going to find a whole lot of action from the public that could be a really good sleeper pick.
Yeah. So talk to me about Double J.
Double J.
Also, they come in at 11-1.
Dude, I can't hear Double J without thinking about Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff Jarrett, man.
Yeah, Double J. Yeah.
JEFF.
Yeah.
JARRE2.
Woo. Yeah. Look, there's been some weirdness about this team. I will say this.
Weirdness.
Well, no, I mean, if you read the thread, and if you have, I don't know, maybe y'all don't have time to read this entire team's thread. I did, so I could be educated about this. But if you have time to do this, it is a phenomenal read. Watching the banter and then watching these teams go back and forth and pour them out themselves and each other, and you would think that nobody knows how to hit a golf ball at the end of this thread. Like nobody does, but in the interest to hear. They did like ask if they could play this thing from the tips, which I mean, so they were the only one. Like when yardage, there's a long thing where they discuss, okay, what yardage are we gonna play at? Dude, Double J didn't care, man. They could have played this thing. I think they said 7,600.
Wow.
Right, and so it kind of rose my eye. I'm like, these guys don't care.
Like Brooklyn.
Like my niece. I think that J4U's he's battle tested. He's a long hitter. This could be good. He's coming in off a personal best. He's probably fired. I think he shot a 73 the other day. This is a situation.
From the tips?
I don't know if it was from the tips or not. But J-Lou didn't shoot a 73. He made sure he told me that. I don't really know what he shot the other day. I did some scrounging up around this. He's a 13. Here's another low. Now you have a low mid. We talked about Jersey Burners, low high. Here's a low mid. If I was doing this over again, I'd probably have moved them up the board. They would have leapfrogged some teams.
I think my favorite comment or post that you had was like, I read through the entire team thread, even when it got a little bit weird yesterday.
Oh, it did. Yeah,
that was great.
It got really, I'm not going to let you know when it happens. You people, when you go read it, you'll know
read the thread.
Exactly when it happens.
So, coming in as the caboose to this,
yes.
At 14-1, we've got Vegemite Sawdust.
Vegemite Sawdust. Now look,
my man Cookie and Stimmy.
Your man Cookie and Stimmy are in the mix. The only reason I put them here is a couple things. A, Stimmy's a rookie, although you could still have the same thing that we could get with Geeked Out with Cookie sort of guiding him in through the first day, and then them there making a run. But when that whole thing in the team thread happened where they discussed the distance, okay, Cookie, this team right here had the most sort of angst about where the distance was going to be. Now, I think that the distance is probably going to be, and I haven't seen the course set up, so I don't know anything. I think the distance is around 6,650. I know.
Well, having played with Cookie, I can attest that he's not a long ball hitter.
Right. So maybe that's where the angst came from.
Could be.
So if it is at about 6,650, maybe 6,600, 6,700, somewhere in there, they're at a disadvantage. And and in this particular case, you have some people that can buy, if their driver's working that day, that may be able to go and run away and hide. However, don't ever count out a former granddaddy captain. He's cagey, he's crafty, he could maybe grind themselves through it, and if they can get through the first day, I don't know. They could be there. They could be there at the end.
Yeah, very well could be. So we've gone through each of the teams.
Yes, we have.
Dax, what is your pick of the event?
You know what? God, I hate to make an official pick, but you know what? I get to enter this. I didn't get to enter this thing last time. If it was me, here's my advice. I would wait until the very last second to put my pick in. That way I kind of know where the money's going. In my opinion, I'll probably, if I was going to make a pick, I would probably go contrarian to try to win the irons. So someone like if Double J doesn't have a lot of action, I love them if their action doesn't move up the board. I tell you what, I don't think that Jersey Burners is going to get a lot of action. Personally, that's probably who I'm going to pick in officially, but my pick to win, It's probably the Fighting Lions. I like Lions 81. I think that he's going to ball out. Sorry, Cap. You'll have to wait to get your next Hall of Fame tag come December with me. Okay.
There you go.
It probably
That's a good
won't
consolation prize.
Right. It probably won't happen this weekend, but there will be another thing added to your avatar. You know how hey, you want to see my thing? Look down or whatever he's got with all those badges in there. I think that this is the team where you could, if Lons gets hot, Ozman just keeps the ball in front of him. I think that they could really make some noise in alternate shot and be the leader going into day 2 and hold on.
So when you're talking about everybody kind of waiting until a lot of the picks are in,
I know. I hope not everybody does that.
And then throwing one in. Tell everybody about the time you picked Holyfield.
Oh yeah, so.
This is a great story.
So I probably would pull the same type of deal. The first Evander Holyfield Tyson fight, I was at a watch party where you paid $50 to buy a square and sort of predict the rounds, but it wasn't like once you bought one round, there was numerous people. If Tyson would have knocked him out in the third, these 3 people that had Tyson in the third would have split the money. So they get to me. I'm looking at the deal. I'm trying to figure out what gives me the best odds, and I just kind of look at the guy that's running the thing, and I said, "Will you? Here's my $50. Can I have Holyfield in any round?" And he's like, "Yeah." He kind of chuckled. He laughed. He grabbed my money quickly. Guess what? Evander beat him, and then I didn't have to share the
pot.
Yeah, it was the whole thing. It was the route. It's sort of like shoving all in with an up and down straight draw and a flush redraw. Right. Against a made hand.
And that right there is why I'm going to take the tips. I'm going to take the weird, and I'm going to go double J for the win. I like these guys already.
Okay. That's a good pick. Like I said, I hope not everybody waits because that's my gimmick. But this is going to be a great contest. Cannot wait to follow along. Any final thoughts, man?
Man, it's going to be Dubs Dread is going to be a fun course. Mm-hmm. I've never played there, but I did play it at the simulator at Dick's one night when I was working. It's a tough course, even on the simulator.
I mean, this course got a lot of history. 97 U.S. Amateur was held on both of these courses.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun. I mean, and may the best team win. Maybe we can do a recap video if we've got enough time. We'll see. Right. This thing ran way too long.
Way long.
So we'll try to shorten a recap thread.
All right.
But later, thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next time.